Здравейте, добре дошли на нашето специално издание на Клуб по биотехнологии и науки за живота. Днеска съм изключително развълнувана. Така вече мога да преброя може би над 20 предавания, които успяхме да направим, благодарение, разбира се, на успешното партньорство между Биотехнологичен и здравен клъстер България и София Тех Парк, заедно с техния Клъбхаус. Но днеска за мен е наистина много специален ден. Много пъти сме си говорили какво е необходимо България да се развие като дестинация, какъв е пътя на иновациите, по какъв начин да стимулираме създаването на повече иновативни компании в сферата на биотехнологиите, на медицината, на чистите технологии, и винаги сме знаели, че ключът е скрит в образованието. Затова и днешното събитие за мен е особено много важно, интересно. Виждаме по-развълнувана от всякога, даже с колегите се смяхме бекстейдж, че за първи път имам и предстартова треска, а причината за това е, че всъщност днеска ще представиме и е Open Day на една невероятна MBA програма, всъщност първата в света MBA програма за биотехнологии и науки за живота, която е на Кеймбридж, Барселона. За да можем да се насладиме на тази програма, искам да благодаря на един от нашите членове. Това е Venrize Ltd. Компанията на практика преди няколко седмици успя да сключи ексклузивно партньорство с Biotechnology Business Institute към Кеймбридж, и всъщност това, което те ще предоставят не само за България, за целия регион, тук ще изредя малко държави: България, Румъния, Сърбия, Черна гора, Северна Македония, Албания, Косово, Босния, Словения, Хърватия, Гърция, Турция, всички ние като една екосистема разширена, съм сигурна, че ще получим наистина огромна добавена стойност. За кого е тази програма? Разбира се, тази програма е насочена за хора, студенти, PhD-те завършили, които имат интерес към биотехнологиите, които искат да реализират и да развият своята компания. Те ще имат възможността не просто да се обучат как това е възможно от най-добрите експерти в областта, но също така за тях това е една възможност да се присъединят към едно алумни, една огромна мрежа от експерти, международна, която наистина да подкрепи. И аз съм абсолютно убедена, че след една година тук ще говорим за едни изключителни резултати. Днеска обаче не съм и сама в студиото. С мен е Ясмина Тал. Здравей, Ясмина!
Здравей, Криси! Здравейте на всички!
Ясмина е CEO на Radioactive International Recruitment, пак компания, член на нашия клъстер. Днес аз се повиках, не просто защото да ви запозная с нея, ами много съм си я харесала за ко-хост и се надявам, и коментирахме с нея в един бъдещ етап, да направим една рубрика към нашите издания, лайф издания, която ще бъде точно за подбор на кадри, работа. А истината е, че MBA програмите, особено такива със статута на Кеймбридж, предоставят възможност наистина за огромна реализация, не просто само за създаване и билдване на компания, но също така и за намиране, реализиране на работа. Ясмина, какво да очакваме всъщност в тази интересна колаборация и ко-хост, свързана с Radioactive International Recruitment? Какви неща ще ни?
Много благодаря. Първо, Криси, много ти благодаря, че ме покани. Много се радвам. Аз също съм много развълнувана да съм тук. Винаги знам, че каквото правиш ти е страшно интересно. Аз споделям твоята визия и визията на клъстера, и това е една от причините всъщност Radioactive International Recruitment да е част от този клъстер. Аз също вярвам, че България, както и Балканите, целият този наш регион има огромен потенциал, и всъщност ти казваш, тази MBA програма е изключително важна за кариерното развитие на хората. Вярвам, че тя е наистина уникална възможност. Изключително много неща виждам аз, които могат да се случат тук в нашия регион. Всички държави, които ти изброи, са наш регион, в който можем да правим чудеса, но няма как да ги правим сами, без да сме свързани със света. Подкрепям страшно много работата на на всичко, което ти правиш. Всички твои проекти са толкова иновативни. Много ще се радвам като твой ко-хост и много ти благодаря за тази възможност да съдействам, да извлечем от хората това, което уникалните хора, които са части от нашия клъстер и от тази прекрасна екосистема, която развиваме, да извлечем от тях ценни неща за самите тях, за самата общност, да направим тази топла връзка между всички заинтересовани страни, как тази екосистема наистина да бъде успешна. Тук след малко ще се срещнем с Марк, който идва от Кеймбридж, който ще се включи чрез видеобридж. Аз се надявам да мога да ти помагам с това, да търсим онези теми, които ще вълнуват както младите хора с потенциал, които те първа искат да навлязат в тази индустрия, също така на тези, които вече са тук, както Митко, който тук е с нас в студиото, макар нашите зрители да не могат да го видят. За тези хора, които вече врат и кипят в индустрията и за които много хора в България, за съжаление, не са и чували. Така. Аз мисля, че те са уникално ценни и уникални неща могат да ни разказват. И моята визия като твой колега е да помогнем с това, да направим техния пример по-видим и по-достъпен за хората, които са в индустрията. Ти много добре знаеш, когато преди няколко години стартира самия клъстър, някои от тях никога не се бяха засичали на живо, никога не се бяха виждали. Аз си мисля, че историите, които и опита, който те имат, може да се предизвика една синергия от споделянето на тези знания и на опита и преживяванията, защото да бъдем честни, биотехнологиите не са само наука, те са изключително интересни и вълнуващи тогава, когато са представени, когато разкажем как всъщност променят ежедневието и живота ни.
Така е. Аз обаче нямам търпение вече да навлеземе в същинската част на събитието. За целта, разбира се, ще превключа на английски. За останалите, които биха искали да разберат повече и допълнително за програмата, винаги могат да влязат на сайта на клъстера, на сайта на Venrize Academy и съм сигурна, че там ще получите цялата необходима информация. So now it's time to switch on in English and to say hi to Mark Treherne, who is the co-founder and chairman of BBI Cambridge. I'm quite excited because an expertise that he has and I'm sure that he's sharing with you is huge. I can count, I don't know, I have 3 pages probably of his bio. I will point several things, of course. I can mention for him that he has over 30 years experience in a discovery of novel treatment for diseases of the central and peripheral nervous system, including Parkinson and Alzheimer diseases. Mark formerly worked for Pfizer. He's worked for many early-stage innovative companies, including CDD, Xention, and many others. I can't even count them all. Of course, it is great honor for me to say hi, Mark, and I'm really passionate to understand more about this program and what's coming next with it.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me here today. Can I share my screen? Will everyone be able to see that if I share the screen for the presentation?
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Let me try, and hopefully this will be a window. Right, let me see. Here we go. So hopefully you should be seeing a presentation now. Is something happening?
It's all, yeah, we can see the presentation.
Well, thank you so much for this invitation again. My name is Mark Treherne, and I'm the curriculum coordinator. So I've been responsible for pulling the curriculum or the syllabus, you know, the things that we teach on this course. And this is from the Biotechnology Business Institute and the Biotechnology Business Institute in Cambridge in the UK. As my background is originally at Cambridge University, but I've also taught at the University of Basel in Switzerland and the University of Kent in England. And as I said, I've been 30 years in the life sciences industry, and I'm very keen to help the next generation of life sciences entrepreneurs, you know, develop businesses wherever they are in the world, you know, for the betterment of human health. So what's the life sciences landscape like internationally, and what are the career opportunities? And more importantly for us is what is our EMBA, our electronic or our online MBA course? Why could that be useful to people throughout the world, but particularly the people we're talking to today? And so what we have developed is an international network of the Biotechnology Business Institute. and we're very excited about being part of your network and working with you. And really what we're trying to do is develop the next generation, the new generation, who will hopefully do it better than we did, of life sciences entrepreneurs. We're based in Cambridge, but the original BBI, Biotechnology Business Institute, was based in Barcelona. And it's been established in Barcelona for about 10 years now, almost 10 years. And we've just started in Cambridge in the UK. And we're based on the Cambridge Science Park, which is just north of the city. And this is one of the oldest science parks in Europe, started in 1970. And we're in the Bradfield Centre, which is one of the newest buildings. And when people come to visit us, it's a nice place to actually show them around. So what is Cambridge like? So Cambridge is an old university dating from about 1209. So it's been around for a few hundred years. But the technology cluster around it has been much more recent. And the life sciences is part of that. We have two universities. There's the University of Cambridge and obviously a more modern university, Anglia Ruskin University. And they teach different types of students. But the important part of this is from discoveries around DNA and other things that are basic to the understanding of life sciences have been discovered in Cambridge. And what people have done is start businesses, commercial businesses around the city. So what are we like? We're surrounded by an academic and a business environment, and they work together. And this is quite important to the UK economy. So about 2.4% of gross domestic product over the next few years will come from Cambridge. So it's a very fast growing city. And basically it means considerable investment, an additional £4 billion worth of investment. So say $5 billion worth or 5 billion euros worth of investment has been invested since 2017. And this is useful because this creates companies employing about 180,000 staff who spend a lot of money on research and development. So there is a lot of industrial activity around the university, the academic university. We also think it's a good place for people to come and study, whether you come here physically or whether you join our EMBA, our electronic MBA course from wherever you are in the world. And about 20 of the top pharmaceutical companies are in the UK, and we have AstraZeneca, again, has been quite active in terms of discovering vaccines along with Pfizer and others, is based in Cambridge, is headquartered in Cambridge. And in addition to that, there's about 1,000 biotechnology companies and 3,200 medical technology companies. So we think we're one of the largest life sciences clusters in Europe. So I'm going to talk today about our EMBA, so a Master in Business Administration, but this is a virtual one where people can join us from all around the world. We think we're different from other MBAs. We're focused just on life sciences. We only do life sciences. But I think more important than that, we're practical, fun, and hopefully we're life-changing for the people who join us. We're very international in our outlook. We don't just think that Cambridge is the centre of the universe. We think that biotechnology is a truly international problem and something that we work with colleagues all around the world. And we're virtual. So we meet with our students and we interact through laptops and computers, but we're very interactive. We don't think that being virtual is a handicap. We think being virtual is an opportunity. And as I said before, we're based on Cambridge Science Park outside Cambridge, and our headquarters at the Bradfield Centre, which is a new building on Cambridge Science Park. So what is the curriculum like? What do we teach? And the curriculum is just another word for syllabus. And the first term, it's really understanding the ecosystem. The first module is around understanding how it all fits together commercially. You know, how companies like BioTech in Germany do deals with companies like Pfizer to deliver vaccines around the world. We look at drug discovery and regulatory development. So we look at the regulatory framework around the world and how that regulates the use of medicinal products. And then we focus on management in research and development, because you can have the best technology in the world, but you also need really good people to take that technology all the way to produce medical benefit. The second term, and we have a 3-term system, a trimester or 3 terms, is to look at biopharmaceutical business. And here we look at international business administration, how people do deals. how people enter into commercial transactions around the world from one country to another. We then look at business development. So basically, how do you get those deals? How do you close those deals? How do you find potential customers and partners? And how do you manage all those complex interactions and discussions? And then in module 6, we then move on to global project management. You know, how do you manage a project that could be in Bulgaria, could be in the UK, could be in the US, could be anywhere, but actually you've got different people with different cultures in different time zones. How do you get them to work together towards a common goal and a common objective? The third term and final term of the formal teaching is looking at therapeutic approaches. So how can you try and treat human disease? We look at global marketing and medical requirements around the world, looking at market access. Markets are different. And also healthcare economics, how these sometimes very expensive therapies are paid for, who pays for them, who gets them, and how does the insurance company or the state, in the UK we have a state-funded healthcare system, how is that paid for? And then we look at the different therapeutic areas such as cancer, obviously vaccines now, neurodegenerative disease, and other areas where there's an unmet medical need, where new products are needed to make human life better wherever you are in the world. The last module we do is probably, we think, the most important, and call this the Career Impact Program, is where we take a real project. Now, it can be a project from a student, it can be a project from a large company or a small company, and we try and focus those skills, hone those skills down so that people work on a real project to start a business, to develop a business, to help someone else start a business. So this can be theoretical, but what we really like to do is people to not just write an academic thesis, but write an active business plan that can raise money for them and take their idea forward. Or we introduce them to people with an idea who are looking to find someone with some business skills who can help them raise money, for example. So in our part of our network, there's about at least 50 companies ranging from Boehringer Ingelheim in Germany, M Ventures, KPMG, Amgen in the United States, AstraZeneca in the UK, Amaral in Spain. We have quite a diverse bunch of companies, some of whom will, many of whom actually teach on the course, will provide people to teach on the course, but also provide some very interesting projects that people might want to get involved with. So some of these projects come from these companies as part of Module 10, the one where we're actually looking at developing a new business idea with our students. So that's all I was going to say, but I'm hoping that you're going to come and ask me lots of questions. And I say just what we are about is helping our students really better define their career plans. You know, where do they go from now? They're maybe a life scientist in a lab and want to go and start their own business. They may want to go and work in a big company somewhere else in the world, and we can help define, hopefully, a life-changing and career-changing opportunity for them. But thank you very much for listening, and I'd be delighted to take some questions, and feel free to ask. So hopefully this is now going to stop. The slide presentation should be disappearing.
Stuff. Thank you, Mark. It is great opportunity really for our ecosystem. Probably here is the time also to thank the effort of Chris Howie, who is the director of BBI Cambridge, of course, Martin Shizerov, Kalyan Rachev, Dimitar Dimitrov, and all the people that actually supported and make this program to happen on our region. Of course, I have several questions for you. I'm sure that Yasmina also having something to ask you. Also, I want to, for all the auditory, you can write down your question on Q&A session, and of course, all of them will be answered. But my first one is, which would you say is the perfect candidate profile for the international MBA program?
I guess there probably isn't a perfect candidate, but maybe a typical candidate who might want to come and join our course is someone who has studied life sciences. They may be a scientist. They've decided they don't want a career in academia, that academia is not for them, and they want to start a business and move in a commercial direction. It may be to join a larger company, but we hope a lot of them will want to start their own business, create their own business around an idea they have, or an idea that from someone else that we could introduce them. So it's probably a life scientist, maybe with a PhD, maybe with a BSc or a first degree, maybe a postdoc, but they don't have to have an academic qualification in life sciences, but they have to have a strong interest and some practical knowledge of it. And we can hopefully help develop them and develop their ideas and help them start a new business wherever they may be.
Great. Okay. And Mark, can you please provide us more detail about the professional network? I know it's quite impressive and it will be quite helpful for our future candidate, of course.
Yeah, no, good question. So we work with a lot of companies around the world, from large companies like AstraZeneca and Pfizer down to very small companies, because we want our students to understand it's not just the big companies, that the big companies need the smaller companies to survive. It's like a really important ecosystem where, the big companies and the small companies need each other. And some of the smaller companies are based in the United States, in Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, so all around the world. So what we try and do is introduce our students to the variety of life and the variety of life sciences. And you can see on our website and any of the documentation that please contact us for further information. We can tell you more about our network of life scientists, and hopefully some of these will be career opportunities for people who join our course.
I'm sure, and I hope that also you can find a lot of professionals from our region to contribute and to be included into the program. Okay.
I'm delighted to, and of course, it would be great if you could join us as well. So all of you on the call today are invited to get involved.
I think this is the hot news of the day. So professors, please join the program. Of course, you can contact us. Yasmina, do you have some certain questions?
Actually, yes. Yeah. Mark, hi. Nice meeting you virtually. Hello. At least. I'm Yasmina Tal. I'm an organizational psychologist and an HR person as well. So, Chrissy, thank you for asking me if I have a question at the moment. I actually do. We all know that MBA programs are well known to be a great incubator for connections and building networks and relationships. We also know that definitely your EMBA program has a huge advantage in the world which we live in. On the other hand, we know that the students will probably not be with opportunity to meet each other face to face, because when you invite them to Cambridge, they have a chance to go out and take a beer together in a pub. I've been to Cambridge, I love it. It's an amazing place also to go around, even if you're just a tourist. I can imagine living there, how excited it would be. But now your students for this program will have to learn virtually. They will not have this opportunity. So did you as an institution think of something that would replace? Because my experience is when you learn online is that usually you don't spend enough time with colleagues, and this is something that's missing, and it's very valuable for building relationships.
No, very, very good question, and thank you for that. So I guess before the pandemic, we thought we were going to do this as a face-to-face course in Cambridge. And as had been done in Barcelona for a decade. So, people actually went to Barcelona. Barcelona has better weather, generally speaking, and it is a nice place, but we think Cambridge is competitive. But we thought because of the pandemic that, we're also used to being on Zoom, being on Google Meet, going on these things. And actually, and if someone as old as me can do it, I think particularly a younger generation, who are much more used to me, can interact. So it's not just lectures. All the lectures are recorded so people can listen to them again. But we have tutorials. We introduce people to talk to each other. And of course, as part of the practical component, module 10, some people may want to come to Cambridge or go and visit our people face to face to have a sort of physical project as well, as well as acting online. So we've made it as interactive as possible. We have a back office system that's worked for 10 years in Barcelona, which has a library, enables people to ask questions. We've tried to make it as digitally friendly as we can. But I said, if someone as old as me can do it, I hope someone in their 20s will be able to figure it out quicker than I can. So it's not, we don't replace real physical, face-to-face human contact, but we think we make it as good as we can. And also it allows you to talk to people all around the world. So I think it's easier to internationalize through the internet than it is to get on planes these days. So We certainly think that makes it different, and certainly we'd love to welcome people onto the course if they're interested.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer. It sounds like you really have great advantages and you thought of everything. I was wondering, since one of the problems that we have in Bulgaria, for example, and it's well known, it's still not so strong and not so well working connection between some businesses and some educational institutions. And you will have amazing people from different parts of Europe working on studies together. Does your curriculum have projects that will somehow promote working together on a project basis or some research basis or whatsoever between people from different parts of the world, and especially related to businesses from different parts of the world? In my head, this is a great opportunity. Just wondering how you're going to do it.
No, absolutely. So I think, we love working with academics, and we love academics working with other academics and people who are in industry. So part of it is that clearly and one of the reasons we're here today is to extend our network through your association, your membership, to get involved with us. So we would love to talk to academics who may have an interesting story to tell, some interesting technology, looking for students. And the other thing, we are really an enabler. We can enable new ideas to flourish. We can encourage people to take those ideas, and we can connect those people with investment. So the idea is, rather than export people, what we do is we import ideas and make those ideas work through the internet, and help people work with investors and funding to get those ideas from a concept or an early stage academic project all the way through to something that could be used in a patient. So that's our objective, and that's worked well in Barcelona over a number of years, and we're really looking forward to making that work with you as one of our key strategic partners.
Yeah, I have also a question, of course, because when we're talking about life sciences, entrepreneurship and investment, I know that there is plenty of inspired stories coming from your program and your experience. Can you share with us, please, some successful stories connected with entrepreneurship?
Sure, yes. So I think in Barcelona, we've had a lot of examples where people have gone into employment in new job, and I believe the figure is about 95+% of people who come on our course, or the Barcelona course, end up in some form of new job or new commercial opportunity. We've also had examples where we've taken ideas from the University of Barcelona, developed those, and these have started new companies. And my colleague Juan Garcia, who can't be here today, can obviously give you those examples. And I think what we're trying to do is take that template, that success in Barcelona, and actually transfer that to the UK, to Cambridge, where there's been a lot of examples where businesses that have come out of the university, but not just the university, they've come out of private individuals who happen to like Cambridge because it's a nice place to live or an interesting place to live, and take things forward from an idea, a concept, to raise money to develop a product or a service that can make people's lives better. So very happy on our website, via our website, or directly to give you some case studies that you can look at and see whether they would be interesting for you to follow as a template or as a way forward.
Great. Yeah, for sure. And I hope that recently we'll share stories from our ecosystem also to be included. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I know that your time is quite expensive, and we can't afford much of it. I have one last question to you, Mark. What was the ultimate driver to explore Southeast Europe and Bulgaria as a market to expand into?
No, I think it's a very, well, I know because of I've worked with Martin Shidorov before in a previous life when I was working for the UK government. And I think there's a huge amount of talent. What does the talent need? It needs connections, it needs financing, and it needs people. So I think at the end of the day, we see working with you to access that talent pool is going to be good for Bulgaria and surrounding nations and ecosystems. And I think it's going to be a win-win situation for everybody. And we've just seen with the vaccines how when we work together, as a global ecosystem, we can really turn back major diseases. But that's a huge opportunity for us, and we hope a huge opportunity for you too.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. It was really interesting, and I hope that our audience could manage to discover more about the MBA program. I'm sure that they have a lot of interest according to it, and of course they can ask us or visiting the website of Venrize Academy or BBI Cambridge. Thank you again, Mark. It was pleasure being here with you, and I hope that we can invite you again to share more and more with our audience. Have a lovely day.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm very much looking forward to joining you again sometime. But thank you.
Thank you to you and to your team. Okay, we will switch on in Bulgarian. Време е така за последни думи. Надявам се, че ви беше точно толкова интересно, колкото и на нас. Наистина много съм вдъхновена, много съм развълнувана. Знам, че най-доброто тепърва предстои, така че от мене само мога да кажа, че образованието е това, което е в основата естествено на истинската иновация, реализация в живота. Възползвайте се, със сигурност от сега казвам. Аз съм един от хората, които биха се и т.е. ще се запишат в MBA програмата, тъй като наистина така надиквайки малко повече в това, което ще се изучава в мрежата, в алумнито, във възможностите, наистина възможността е уникална. Ясмина, пак трябва да ни гостуваш и мисля да те правя дългосрочен ко-хост. Много добре се справи, между другото.
Така да смяташ. Много ти благодаря, Криси. За мен беше удоволствие. Аз съм изключително щастлива да имам възможност от първа ръка да науча какви прекрасни неща предстоят. Мисля, че всички имаме нужда от Life Sciences, да ни вдъхнат малко надежда. Очевидно е, че без биотехнологии, без науката няма да можем да оцеляваме, не просто да процъфтяваме и като хора, и като общности. Така че много ти благодаря. За мен е изключително удоволствие и чест да съм тук с теб.
Благодаря на всички. Следвайте ни, харесвайте ни, пишете ни, а след месец, то е ясно, пак ще се срещнем тук. От мен спокойна вечер.
Довиждане.
We used to talk when the lights go out.